Mexican, I think, should be allowed into the country, right? So all the people thinking about coming in illegally, they're like, oh, well, we can get in legally now. It's not that hard. You walk in and, you know, they'll provide maybe some basic English classes or something, and we'll give you a background check and all of that, and we'll send you on your way, and you'll go and try and make your new life in America, right? And once there, as a legal resident now, you don't have to live in fear. This would be a big deal for the illegal Mexican immigrants. Hey, you're never going to be deported because you're legal now. And once you're legal, you can get all sorts of protections under the law. You can call the cops when something bad happens to you without fear they're going to deport you. And you can join unions and such. It's a big thing. Mexicans lowering wages because they're willing to work for much less. Well, if they're legal residents, then they can, you know, join a union or whatever. Doesn't that make sense? I think that makes sense. And then, you know, I think they'd be perfectly willing, the good people anyway, which are the only ones who are trying to let in my idea here, they'd be perfectly willing to pay their taxes just like any other American. It's a hassle, yes, but they do it. You pay, so now you have all these people coming in, right? They're here legally, they're great with that, they can join unions and stuff, so there's no wage depletion, and they pay their taxes out just like anybody else, and if they don't, then they can get deported, but most people do pay their taxes, much as they hate the process. So they pay their taxes, and by doing that, they support the emergency rooms and all these things that they were previously sucking money from. Well, now they're giving money to, and I think they'd be willing to do that. And if any of them are not, you can deport them. Fine. But I do believe that most of the Mexican immigrants, and well, like other countries, etc., but the mainly Mexican immigrants, want to come in and they just want to start a new life. They just want to, you know, find some good jobs, etc., etc., etc. You know, and doesn't that make sense? You know, this is one thing about talking about things. And then for the people, let's see, the illegal immigrants already here, alright, I think we should offer them a path to citizenship. No, you can't do it, that's amnesty! Well, yes, but maybe the law that has imposed such strict quotas is kind of flawed, you know? It's not as if these people are all drug lords, and we're just forgiving them for no good reason. Yeah, there's people there, well, what is their sin? Okay, the crime here is they came to America illegally. And thus, we're kind of a drain on our resources because they didn't pay taxes. Okay. Barack Obama, great guy, by the way. I hope he gets to be elected president. Has this a plan, and you get to have this like a 11-year process for legal immigrants, and you get registered, and you learn English, and you pay a fine, and you go through all this crap, but in the meantime, you can live here legally, and then after 11 years, which is, I think, is like 4 years more in the standard path to citizenship or something like that, after 11 years of that 4-year penalty, you can eventually be a citizen. And that's perfectly fine. I don't understand so many other things around this, about, I don't know, xenophobia? Fear of the Mexicans. Fear of like, oh, you know, there's this school down in southern Texas where the kids speak Spanish in addition to English. Actually, no, I didn't make that up. There was like on CNN or something, and I'm like, wait, they speak Spanish in addition to English. Well, calm the heck down then! So long as they speak English, who cares if they speak Spanish? I had this one teacher who was so horribly offended when he walked into a restaurant once and he opened the menu and there was English, the English on one side of the menu in this restaurant, and there was Spanish on the other side. And he said he got up and he never went to that restaurant again. What? Why? It has English on this side of the menu. You can read it. Here's my take on languages. Me being a native-born American, right, I should never be forced to learn a foreign language, right? So long as I stay within America. So long as I stay in the boundaries of America. And the Mexicans, native-born Mexicans that live there, they should never be forced to learn anything other than Spanish, so long as they stay within the boundaries of Mexico. Now, if the Mexicans come to America, yeah, they should eventually have to learn English. If in the meantime, however, they would also like to speak Spanish, like on the side, that's fine. You know, if we have a huge chunk of Texas or something, it's just all Spanish all the time, well, that would be a pain. But if it's Spanish on one side of the menu and English on another, guys, who cares? You know, people talk about, I don't know, crazy stuff. Mexicans gonna ruin our culture. You know, all these Mexicans, they're gonna all speak Spanish and they're all gonna do their customs of coming here and it won't be like America anymore. I might as well call it the United States of Mexico or whatever. And I'm like, oh, gee, that would be multiculturalism. Oh no! Oh no! What are we all afraid of? Let's think about this. You know, gee, guys, we wouldn't want America to be some sort of melting pot. We want America to be a place where immigrants all over come in and they work together for a productive society and they... Wait a minute. That sounds perfectly fine, doesn't it? Yeah. I got no problem against Mexicans. You know, this country is founded by immigrants, right? Founded by European immigrants, as a matter of fact, who actually ruthlessly slaughtered the people who are already here. The Native Americans, that being. Is that what we're afraid of? That the Mexicans are going to ruthlessly slaughter all the Americans? If so, you're being horribly unrealistic. But there's nothing wrong with a whole, you know, large influx of Mexicans, of Spanish-speaking people. I saw something, and I should have my sources on this. In future videos, I'll probably get actual sources. But it was something like, of Mexican immigrants come in, they speak only Spanish, right? 70% of their children will speak fluent English, right? And 70% of their children, the third generation, won't even speak Spanish anymore. After 2 years, after two generations, they don't even know the foreign language. It's English all the time. Obviously, there are exceptions to that. But, you know, there's not a big problem here. Because if you want to function properly in America, you need to know English. And, you know, the Spanish people will learn English. It happens. Particularly over time and over generations and stuff. What is it? There's some ad in magazines you see sometimes. And it's like, I pledge allegiance to la bandera de los Estados Unidos. And it's like, it's coming to this. And whatever group it is, they're like, don't let people speak Spanish. It's evil. I mean, okay, I'm probably exaggerating what they just said, but you know, it's the words, it's coming to this one page. I'm like, you know, okay, so long as I, the American, am never forced to learn Spanish, other people can use Spanish as much as they like. So long as there are proper facilities, all marked in English, and they got all sorts of things to go, you know, every town hall in America, even southern Texas, should have, you know, English language directions and stuff for English-speaking people, and that will pretty much force the Mexicans to speak English as it is. You know, so that's okay. Another thing, during the protest rallies and stuff, people were saying, some people were singing the Star-Spangled Banner in Spanish. And people got, like, up in arms about this, like, don't sing the Star-Spangled Banner in Spanish! That's bad, somehow. Guys, what do you care? The first time I ever got published anything, I wrote an article into a paper, not really an article, a short thing. You know, they publish reader letters. And it said, I am continually perplexed by people who object to the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner in Spanish. If they'd like to oppose it on a matter of taste, that's one thing. But some people act as if Spanish is downright subversive. America is great not because of its language, but because of its commitment to justice, liberty, and other high ideals. And those ideals are the same in any language. Doesn't that make sense? You know, I mean, there's nothing subversive about singing love for America in some other language.